What if I told you I'm already making money here today driving on Point Pickup, and who knows, other gig apps here today as well. $12.83, 2.44 miles, and $10.33 for just 2.8 miles. Yeah, so again, it's Point Pickup. It's a grocery service here, and probably a backup filler app for you, but certainly a very good one. I've liked the payouts. I've liked the dollars to mile ratio. How much am I getting paid for the miles driven here on Point Pickup? But again, I don't know if I'm just going to do Point Pickup, but this is certainly a good place to start. I'm already in the staging waiting area here, so let's see how long they take to actually bring out these grocery orders. All right, so guesses on the pickup time. 2 pickups here, and I got here as soon as possible. It said no earlier than 1:45. I checked in at like 1:42, and the Point Pickup staff can see your location as well. Most of these can as well. I think maybe Spark. Let me know down below in the comments. But 7 minutes and like, I don't know, 30 seconds or something for both orders, which is excellent because, again, I feel like if you arrive as soon as possible, they aren't going to always be ready. In this case, they were really ready, so that's good. All right, so on our way to both pickups, which gives me enough time to probably squeeze in another request, maybe food delivery or something in this same hour, which is good. All right, delivery number 1, solid, really straightforward. And this one actually didn't require a signature, which I like. I feel like when I started doing Point Pickup, every single one required a signature. So maybe it's like when you're a new driver, or maybe it depends on like the customer or the size of the order. But anyway, I like it because it was, gotta wait for the driver letting me through, thank you to them, really seamless when there's no signature. It's just straight up contactless delivery, which is great. So delivery number 2, it's 18 minutes away, 4 miles. And I did this strategically. Remember, which a lot of people don't know, as an independent contractor, these apps will give you an order to deliver. But as an independent contractor, you can make that order, that delivery order rather, in any order that you want. So in this case, I went east first, and now I'm headed back west into really a more kind of center, north of center area of the city here, which is my preferred ending destination versus this current location. All right, so I was sitting there for a little bit, and I declined orders that just didn't make sense, and I finally got this one. A lot of different things on this. Number 1, positioning. It's not going too far. It's ending in a busy area. Got some plans later, but still, that ending destination is good. The dollars to mile is good. The payout per mile, I like it. And then thirdly, both orders, even though it's a shop and deliver, that's another thing. The shop and deliver is only for 2 items. So the shop is going to take hopefully no time at all. And then a standard restaurant pickup. And they're both going to the same customer, which is nice. Like, obviously, just one less stop to make. All right, so let me do both of these. Quick shop time, hopefully, knock on wood. Let's see how the shop and deliver goes, and the restaurant pickup. You already saw 2 items there. So how was it? So here's the shop process. Check it out. And I was shopping for just this. 2 12-packs of Diet Coke, which is fantastic. You know, you may not know, I'm not a big fan of shopping apps because of the time it takes, but this is exactly what a shopping gig assignment should look like for you. Obviously, the highest pay possible, the fewest items possible, and ideally, super familiar items. Because if I was in a store, and if I'm not even familiar with the store, so it makes it harder to shop, if it's a familiar item, you typically know exactly where it is. And if it's a popular item, chances are it's kept in stock. All right, so a Friday, that should at least mean I'm doing better than a super slow beginning of the week, Monday or Tuesday, right? Look at these numbers. So today's shift, 1:30 p.m. until 3:45 p.m., starting off strong, again, with that scheduled Point Pickup here. So $23.16 from Point Pickup, $14.75 from DoorDash, $37.91. That's a gross revenue per hour of $16.85. And I'm thinking the same thing that you're thinking here. Let me explain really, because we have our goals, right? We have our metrics. We have what you probably want to make here. Let me explain exactly what this means if your shifts are looking like this. So 4 deliveries completed. I got 3 tips here out of those 4. A good average tip here, $4.83. Business miles, 14.7, $2.58 paid out per mile, and a tax deduction, $9.63. How do you make sense of your numbers? By the way, if you're not tracking your numbers, go to yourdrivermike.com, get our earnings tracking spreadsheet so you can get even more metrics than this on your driving. Doesn't really matter the app or platform that you're driving on. So what I look at here, firstly, what I'm driving is, the day of the week, and maybe equally or maybe a little bit more important is the time of day. So it's a Friday. Thursday to Sunday is usually the busiest time for a lot of these gig apps, not just food delivery. But I drove 1:30 p.m. until 3:45 p.m. And I told you, this in-between time, it doesn't really matter the day of the week here. In most marketplaces, the in-between time from lunch and dinner is going to be tricky with these different gig apps. And that, yes, doesn't really matter on the niche. Look at the gross revenue per hour. That's what basically everyone focuses on. It's how much money did you make per hour there. So that is going to tell you in parts, A, did you get enough orders? And B, were they strong paying orders? You can complete 2 to 4 deliveries or runs, whatever, per hour. Because let's say you jam pack 4 deliveries or assignments in 1 hour, but they're all like $5, $5.50, then you might be able to squeak $20, $21 an hour, but then most likely your dollars per mile is going to be lower. So you're cash flowing, like you're making money that's being deposited, but come tax time, when you run the numbers, you take the deduction on your miles. Again, you should be tracking that. Yourdrivermike.com, get those earnings tracking spreadsheets. You'll find the profit. There's not actually that much profit. Look at my dollars to mile here. So $2.58. So if that's the case, and I've said this before, and I hope this makes sense to you, comment down below if it does, if you have questions on this. If you have a high dollars to mile, then you're smart in accepting orders that pay well, so you're not wasting the empty miles or just not getting enough money versus the cost of operating that vehicle. Let's end with this. Let me ask you this. What is more important to you? Is it just that gross revenue line? Like, how much am I making that's getting deposited every day or week by these apps here? I don't really care about the expenses, whatever. I'll take the deduction come tax time. Or do you want to run a profitable side hustle? Like, I'll sacrifice a little bit off the gross revenue if it means that my margin between the gross revenue and, in this case, mileage or expenses is more, where I'm actually, after taxes, making more of a profit. Imagine I wasn't as smart with my miles. Like, if I did double that, like 28, 29 miles there, and then just double the deduction, let's just make it $20, okay, on the tax deduction for simplicity there. Then I made $37.91, but my operating cost or my deduction is $20. You can see, like, dude, you're not really making money versus $37 and just $9 and some cents for the expenses here. It's kind of, well, it is. It's simpler to just drive on good peak pay, surge, bonus pay, whatever it is. Then you really only have to worry about dollars to mile, dollars to time, the positioning and stuff like that. But when that's out of the equation, you have to think here, okay, I might have to wait longer for orders that are actually worth it, hopefully get lucky with some tips here, and squeeze out as much margin as possible, especially on these in-between times during the week.